Reporting to the media this week at Post-Executive Council Media Briefing is the Secretary in the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport, Gary Melville, along with the Secretary with responsibility for Health and Social Services, Claudia Groom-Duke.
As you would be aware, the results of the 2013 CSEC examinations and the CAPE examinations have been out for about a little over a week now. This year's results among Tobago schools saw some significant improvement in the performance of students in a number of subject areas, and there was an overall improvement in performance for a number of schools around the island. Of course, as a division, we are setting goals for improvements, substantial improvements in the performance of Tobago students in the future. And while we would recognize their success of this particular year, we also recognize the need to focus on areas of weakness and areas where there are deficiencies. Overall, in terms of the CSEC examinations, the O-level examinations, there were 853 students taking part in those examinations in 2013, compared to 908 in 2012. The total number of grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3 passes were around the same as last year. However, the pass rate for mathematics saw an improvement overall from 25.7% in 2012, 25.7% in 2012, to 32.6% in 2013. 32.6% in 2013, so there was a 7%, approximately just closer, 7% increase in mathematics for 2013. The pass rate for English saw even greater improvement. It's still at 51%, compared to 35.9% in 2012. The percentage of students who passed 5 or more subjects, including English and mathematics, was only 30.6%, and that was slightly a little better than 30.51% in 2012. Of course, this is a major concern for the division, and a major part of our strategic initiative in the next 2 or 3 years will be to increase that particular percentage. We know that that is the yardstick by which our students can enter further education, tertiary education, A-levels and tertiary education, and therefore we want to ensure that we have a significant increase in that particular percentage. Among the secondary schools, Bishop's High School remains the top performing school in Tobago in terms of the CSEC results, but it was very heartening to see a number of schools raise their performances in 2013. Some of those schools included Goodwood Secondary, Mason Hall, Signal Hill Secondary School, and the Light and Life Pentecostal School. Those schools recorded increases in the significant improvements in the number of students who obtained 5 or more subjects with English, including English and mathematics. The pass rates for modern studies, the modern studies area, and technical studies remain relatively high among all the schools. And while our performances in integrated science and agricultural science remain above 80%, we would like to see some significant improvements in chemistry and physics, because those pass rates were, in most schools, below 50%. One also enlightening or another significantly heartening factor was the number of students who were absent from exams or whose papers were ungraded fell drastically from what obtained in 2012. So as I said, there are some overall improvements, but of course there is always room for further improvement. In terms of CAPE, the A-level component, this year's performance was significantly better than 2012. The overall pass rate was 90.7%, 90.7%, compared to 85% in 2012. And one of the good things about that is that the pass rate for male students have always been accused of underperforming. The pass rate for male students in CAPE in 2013 was 90.5%. It was only 0.2% points below that of females. So the male and female performances were almost on par. In many schools and in many subject areas, male performance exceeded that of their female counterparts. So that was a very good sign from this year's CAPE. All schools, all 5 secondary schools taking CAPE, that is Bishops, Signal Hill, Scarborough Secondary, Goodwood, and Speyside. All 5 of those schools saw significant improvement in a number of subject areas. Bishops, of course, had the highest pass rate, at just about 97.2%, and of course, followed very closely by Goodwood with 96.1%. So Goodwood did very well in this year's CAPE results. And that, of course, is one of our newer schools, and that is very heartening to see those kinds of achievements. A number of schools received 100% pass rate for various subjects. Some of the more notable ones we had in case of Unit 2, the second year CAPE students, we had 100% pass rate for physics at Bishops and Signal Hill. Physics, 100% pass rate. All the schools, in all 5 secondary schools, we had 100% pass rate for English literature. In all 5 of the schools, English literature had 100% pass rate. We had a similar thing for management of business at Bishops, Goodwood, Signal Hill, and Scarborough. We also saw the same thing, again, another very improving sign in the science area for chemistry. At Signal Hill and Speyside, they had 100% pass rate in CAPE. We had the same thing for biology at Bishops and Goodwood, and for computer studies at Bishops and Signal Hill. So there were some very good performances in the CAPE area. As a division, we want to congratulate all our students who were successful in their examinations, CSEC and CAPE. We also want to encourage those who did not do well or who did not succeed to continue to try. And we at the division will be seeking to institute programs to assist those students who may want to resit exams, especially in the area of mathematics and English. We want to also encourage those fifth form students, the CSEC students, who will be moving on to CAPE, for them to, we wish them every success, and we urge that they try their best, as well as those students who are moving on from CAPE into university and tertiary level education. We also want to congratulate the teachers and principals whose charges have done well, as well as their parents and their communities. And we ask that everyone continue to seek to be able to raise the performance level of our students in Tobago. As you also know, we are on the verge of the beginning of a new school year. And the division has been engaged in a very significant program of repairs and upgrade over the summer period. We remain in constant contact with all of our principals, and at this point in time, our expectation is that all our schools will be in good enough condition and will reopen on time in September. Of course, we will continue to treat with the various principals to ensure that that remains, or that objective remains, is achieved. And over the summer period, we have implemented in excess of 80 projects at various schools throughout Tobago, primary schools, secondary schools, and early childhood centers. Those projects have employed more than 70 contractors, and many of them, some of them have occurred in phases. For example, you look at the Signal Hill School, which has got a Signal Hill Secondary School, which has got a significant facelift. That project would have involved more than 5 contractors. So that while there is some discussion taking place at a public level about the manner in which the division has procured services for the school repair program, I want to assure the Tobago public that the division has utilized every legal mechanism that it has available to ensure that in all cases the projects were allocated to contractors utilizing the mechanisms and methods recognized by under the central the central tenders board legislation, so that we have had a number of major projects ongoing. Some of the larger ones include work at the Scarborough RC, where we have had a number of areas of that we have dealt with there. Extension works at the Bonaccord School. We have had a significant extension at the Lambo Anglican School, and we have done work in a number of the early childhood centers, including especially some of the larger projects, including at the Canby, Mount Pleasant one, the Lansford, Montgomery, the Speyside, ECCE. We have done significant works also at the Moriah Primary School, the Golden Lane, Belgarden Anglican, Buku Government Primary, Speyside Anglican, also the Paladivia Anglican School and Castara Government School, the St. Andrews Anglican, and at each of the major secondary schools we have had major projects, including at Roxborough Composite, Goodwood High School, where we had significant works done to the roof there. That continues to be, that has been a problem for some time. Mason Hall, Scarborough SDA. So a division has spent a considerable sum of money, in excess of $18 million thus far, to ensure that our schools will be ready for opening in September. And I really want to take the opportunity to thank the staff of the Project Implementation Unit and our contractors for their hard work so far in trying to attain that particular goal. One other area I want to speak about briefly has to do with the area of payment of arrears, outstanding arrears in wages and salaries to workers at the division. As you would know, that there have been some issues surrounding that, and the division is pleased to announce that as of Friday, of the 822 teachers to be paid at the division, of the 822 teachers to be paid arrears at the division, as of Friday, a total of 811 were paid out that were sent to the bank. So there were only 11 persons who were not paid thus far, and that had to do with some special circumstances surrounding some particular individuals. So a division would have kept its word and its commitment to tutor and to teachers that we would have paid their arrears by the middle of August. And I want to take the opportunity to congratulate the auditors of the Assembly for their hard work and diligence during that period, as well as the administrator and staff of the division, especially the accounting staff of the division, who would have had a pretty hectic 3 or so weeks trying to get all of these payments done. In terms of the other category of workers, our other monthly paid staff have been paid roughly 98% of them, and we have paid out just about half of the arrears due to our daily paid workers. So I'll be expecting in the next couple of weeks that the daily paid workers will be fully accounted for. And the final thing I want to mention has to do with the Department of Sports in the division. We have started, I just want to inform the public that we have started the commissioning of our newly lit playing fields around the island. Over the last weekend, lights were commissioned at the Mason Hall playing field on Saturday, and also the Moriah playing field on Sunday. As a matter of fact, at the commissioning ceremony for the lighting at Moriah, we had a little bit of a hiccup because there were some problems with blown. There was a problem with electricity in terms of the TNTEC power supply, and I want to take the opportunity publicly to thank the workers of TNTEC for their prompt response in ensuring that the problems was corrected and that the lights were able to come on. So we have those two fields being lit or commissioned, so that means that the public is now free to basically enjoy those playing fields. And we hope to do the same thing for 8 more playing fields over the next couple of weeks. These include Collar Hall, Speyside, Mount Pleasant, Shore Park, Lambo, Signal Hill, and Montgomery. By the end of that process, the Tobago House of Assembly would have been able to install lighting at 15 playing fields around the island. And we already have projects started in other communities and have plans for the new fiscal year that would ensure that another 8 playing fields are lit. So we expect that by the end of 2014, there will be 23 lit playing fields in Tobago. As the Chief Secretary was remarking just a few nights ago, that represents 1 lit playing field per 2,000 plus persons, and that is a phenomenal rate. And it is really up to us, the citizens of Tobago, the residents of Tobago, to ensure that we utilize the facilities available there. And we want to urge the sporting clubs, the sporting organizations, the sporting community as a whole to come up with programs that could ensure that the best use is made of those facilities. We are trying to engage the sporting community in the management of the facilities. At Mason Hall, for instance, we are partnering with the Mason Hall United Sports Club to ensure to have them as part of the management of the pavilion there and the lights, because of course the persons in the community having that responsibility will ensure the lights are turned off on time in the night and that they could be turned on whenever there is need for them and so on.
This afternoon I want to share with you, and of course with Tobago, the information that the Board of Directors of the Tobago Regional Health Authority 2011 to 2013, they demit office on the 29th of August of this year, 2013. As you know, the board operated under the directorship of the chairman, Ms. Jennifer Brown, and I really want to take this opportunity to commend her and her directors for the kind of achievements they have made in Tobago during their tenure. Of course, we did experience the transfer of our hospital from the Scarborough Regional Hospital to the Scarborough General Hospital, and I think that is a major feat as part of their legacy that this team would leave in the health sector. And they did account to the public on the 16th, and of course a copy of some of their achievements has been made available to all via the media. And so we consider this a major feat in the health sector of Tobago, and already the Tobago House of Assembly, the Executive Council, would have approved the names for the recommendations or the nominations for the new board. And this was submitted to the Minister of Health, which starts the process where the processing of these applications would be done for their necessary instruments, eventually from the President. I want to share with you an exciting feat for the health sector, where this Cuban ambassador shared with the health sector in Tobago the Cuban Specialist Health Screening Fair in celebration of the 40th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Trinidad and Tobago and Cuba, integrating cultures, integrating lives, integrating health. The Division of Health and Social Services and the Tobago Regional Health Authority, in collaboration with the Cuban Embassy in Trinidad and Tobago, hosted a specialist health screening fair at the Scarborough Esplanade on the 17th of August 2013, last Saturday. And among the specialist doctors available were nephrologists, neurologists, ear, nose, and throat specialists, oncologists, dermatologists, and angiologists. The fair was attended by over 100 persons. Actually, the team saw 95 of those persons, 62 women and 33 men. They were seen by this team, and the purpose really was to promote the integration of health by providing specialist screening in a primary care setting. As you know, we are driven to strengthen an integrated primary health care program or service in Tobago. And this helps the whole promotion of what we are about in integrating our primary health care service. So this brings specialist screening closer to the service users, and it also provides health education and information to empower persons to lead healthier lifestyles here in Tobago and conduct tests on arterial blood pressure and diabetes, and of course our non-communicable diseases. And these were successfully achieved on that day. We want to speak a little on the cataract program, the cataract initiative, as it continues with great success on the island. And so far, over 116 persons have been discharged from the cataract surgery program. And that was a very, very successful outcome for the program here in Tobago. And so we operate this program, it runs parallel to the Tobago Regional Health Authority's own ophthalmology clinical programs. So it supports and strengthens that program. And together, the backlog for cataract surgery has been steadily reduced and better managed. And once the backlog has been addressed, we anticipate that the Tobago Regional Health Authority will continue to manage this process in a continued, efficient manner. A discussion with Dr. Sharma, who is managing the program, indicated that there is a call to action, which is currently in progress, and they are prepared to screen of all of our patients with eye conditions. So the TRHA has been very successful in recruiting an ophthalmologist who is a specialist in retinal surgery. And so this means that Tobagonians will have ready access to a wider range of eye surgeries right here in Tobago. This ophthalmologist is expected to start in October of this year, 2013, and definitely will strengthen our ophthalmology department and improve our service provision here in Tobago, keeping issues of eye health, disability, and the rights of individuals with visual impairments, and keeping these at the forefront of our division's discussions. I really want to commend members of our staff, especially at the Cuban Health Screening Fair, the communications team of the Division of Health and Social Services. They worked beyond the call of duty. The members of staff of the division, my own advisor, Ms. Raylene Lindsay, and members of the team, as well as those members from the Tobago Regional Health Authority who played a major role in ensuring the success of this program last Saturday.
There was a report a couple days or so ago with making reference to the TRHA board about it not being properly constituted or legally constituted according to the RHA Act, and that the report indicated that decisions made by the board from, I think it is September or some late 2012 to now, are quote-unquote null and void. Could you comment on that?
Well, I want to say that the board is legally configured by an act. I am aware that the Director of Medicine did submit her resignation as scheduled by the act to the President through the Chairman, which, you know, the Act speaks to that. It says a member may resign at any time by instrument in writing to the President through the chairman, which was done. After which the Act also spoke to the President may appoint another person to act as a temporary member for the duration of the inability or so. Right. Yes? And of course, we would wait for the President's position on that. Also, the Act spoke about, and the division, we are guided by Schedule 2 of the RHA Act of 1994. And we are confident that we have adhered to the mandate of the Act and its clauses. It's the clause 2A state that medical practitioner must be one of the members of the board. But in clause 7, the Act does not identify the presence of a medical practitioner as essential to creating a quorum. Yes? In fact, the Act states that at any meeting of a board, a quorum is constituted if at least 1/2 of the members are present. Yes? And so, therefore, since a quorum was always present when decisions were made, we remain assured that of the integrity of all decisions of the Tobago Regional Health Authority Board, even in the absence of a director. And we still continue to seek legal opinion on this matter because this is a legal opinion issue. And we are dealing with that. We continue to deal with that. And of course, we continue to operate with transparency, legality, and integrity of all of our actions.
So in other words, what you're saying from what you said and what you quoted there, the resignation of the director, the person who representing medicine,
yes,
that person's resignation has nothing to do with the legality of the board?
Or legality of the Act,
or the
for
act.
that matter, the
Okay.
legality of the Act.
Okay. So
Yes.
the absence of this person, you still have a quorum, as you pointed out.
We have a quorum. We continue to work with a quorum as instituted and constituted by the Act.
And any decisions of the board is not subject to any sort of a legal question because of the absence of this person?
No.
Thank you.
Not from our legal opinion, not from our legal, from the Act, yes? And as I say, like everything else, we continue to seek legal opinions on this matter.
Thank you for tuning in to another Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council media briefing for the week ending August 24th, 2013.